Hi, my name is Relebohile Mofokeng. Right to my right feet.
Did you know that Relebohile Mofokeng is really good at football? But one thing he's also good at is disrespecting adults.
Around you must move as one, don't break it. Oh boy, no respect.
Yeah, I think this is a lot easy for them. They prefer this. Yo, sweet water, sugar,
Nah, man, if I'm this Richards Bay player, I'm not taking any nonsense from this kid. I'm meeting him directly after the match, Jose Mourinho style, and having more than a few words with him. Okay, one thing I feel like a lot of people in Africa in general are sleeping on is the amount of young talent that South Africa is producing at the moment. I mean, with ballers like Mofokeng, Chandre Campbell, Dudu Jabalala, Mohaon Kota, Oletu Makanya, Fundo Vilakazi. I mean, the list is endless, man. The future of Bafana really looks bright, and we at this point, honestly, we have to start questioning what South Africans are feeding their kids, because the amount of young talent coming out of Mzansi right now is almost the same as the number of destructive social media challenges coming out of the same country.
So you said that you were going to cut aid from South Africa. Will you plan to cut aid across other African nations, and why South
No,
Africa?
it's only South Africa. Terrible things are happening in South Africa.
Yes, Mr. President, terrible things are indeed happening in South Africa. I mean, is this even a school or is it a strip club? I mean, if I'm a parent in Mzansi, honestly, I'll be very fearful for my kid, because what I mean, what happened to four fingers below the knee, fam? Like, come on, man, come on, guys. Oh, okay. Anyway, back to football. Of all the young talent coming out of South Africa right now, Mofokeng, honestly, in my opinion, is the pick of the bunch. And in today's video, I want to talk about why he's better than the others and how good he could potentially become. One of the things that makes Mofokeng stand out in and amongst his peers is, for me, his decision making in comparison to other youngsters. President Yama 2000 has 20 goal contributions in 34 games this season. In the entirety of the PSL, only Lucas Ribeiro and Ikram Reyners have more goal contributions than him, 27 and 23 respectively. And if we narrow it down further, no under 21 player in the entire PSL even reaches 10 goal contributions in all competitions, meaning that other under 21 players in the PSL are not even in half of his goal contributions for this season so far. So that just shows you that he's currently operating in a league of his own in terms of his peers, and he's one of the best attackers in the PSL, hands down. And he's only 20 years of age, which is honestly ridiculous and scary. This just shows, how much better in and around the box he is compared to his peers, because his unpredictability and composure means that he's usually able to create better chances for himself to either score or assist for his teammates. This is aided by his ability to create space for himself through his dribbling or movement, as we saw in the match against Al Ahly in Cairo in January, where he was able to make a little blindside run off of the center backs, and when Talent Mbata crossed the ball in the center backs completely, they messed up. I think it was Adel Rabia who messed up his clearance. Mofokeng was there to pounce, and even the penalty that he won in the Soweto derby, where he made that blindside run off of the shoulder of Jabulo Blom, and Blom ended up fouling him. That just shows what he has over the other youngsters. In his dribbling, of course, he's a 1v1 demon. He's able to isolate his fullback and either eliminate him, whether that be coming inside to either create for his teammate or going outside, to take a shot off at goal. Um, yeah, man. this kid is he's insane, really. I think the second thing for me is the variety in his skill set. Mofokeng is a winger who can either, as I said, tuck in, to add numbers centrally in between the lines to give Pirates more options, when they are in position with the ball alongside Tito Maswangani, or he can be used wider as a more, traditional winger who hugs the touchline to stretch defenses and pulls out opposition fullbacks in looking to isolate them in 1v1 duels and either, creating space for runners from midfield that the fullback has vacated because he's trying to deal with Mofokeng, and this means that he can be used in a number of different roles. And we saw at Pirates, last season when he came in for Lodge, when Lodge was sold to Sundowns, he was playing that kind of more wider role where he would look to hug the touchline and isolate fullbacks. But this season, Rivero has decided to push, Hoto a bit, like he's decided to use Hoto in a more aggressive way, and that gives Relay license to, come inside to form a box with Talente, McLenny, Makaula, Tito, and himself, where it just makes it easier, to break through teams centrally. And this for me, I think it makes him special because Mofokeng he has proven that he's able to affect the game in both roles, whether he's told to hug the touchline or come in centrally. And for me, other youngsters like Kota and Kili from Stellies, are only able to really hug the touchline and sometimes look to cut in, take a shot at goal, or to go to hit the byline and look to bring in crosses. And also another one is for me Duduzi Shabalala, who's only impactful when he plays centrally and can receive the ball in between the lines to do something offensively for his team. So yeah, and the third thing I feel for me is his big game temperament. Mofokeng has played 3 cup finals and he has 3 goal contributions in 3 finals. And even apart from the cup finals, he's turned up away in Cairo against Al Ahly, over 2 legs in the semi-final this season in the MTN 8 against Cape Town City with a goal and an assist. So he does have stinkers. I'm not gonna lie, he does have stinkers, but he has more good big game performances than he does bad ones. So for me, that's one thing he has over youngsters, because you don't really get a lot of youngsters in South African football now who are, when the pressure is on and in big games, do step up for their teams in comparison to Mofokeng. One thing for me that will impact how good Relay can get for me is the next move in his career. I think this is, for me, I would want him to move now because he's at a good age, and the earlier he can get to a higher level, or in Europe to be more specific, he gets more time to iron out the mistakes in his game and add certain elements to his game that will make him a better player, such as working on his physicality, his defensive game as well, and it will be being more clinical than he can in front of goal. So I think if we are looking at players, young talents who've moved abroad from South African football in the last 10 years, I think Pakamani Matlambi, who will kind of at that level of being of like superstardom. Pakamani Matlambi and Percy Tau come to mind. Tau moved a bit later, but I want to focus on Matlambi. Matlambi made the move to Egypt. He joined Al Ahly after winning Young Player of the Season in that season where Wits won the league. And mentally, there are a lot of things going around with Matlambi, but I just want to talk in terms of talent. I think Mofokeng is more talented than those guys. I don't think SA has produced a better player in the last 10 years than Mofokeng. So looking at his next move, I feel like he needs to choose a league and a team, that suits his profile and his playstyle, and where he will get to play and develop. So I think leagues like England, obviously, Germany, Italy, I don't think he's ready for those leagues. Even maybe La Liga, due to, I think, the physicality and probably the high pace of the league, which he isn't. He will take time to adapt. I feel leagues like Spain, yeah, the Netherlands, the Eredivisie, the Belgian Pro League, and maybe going to Austria with Salzburg, if they do come in for him, are more suitable options. Just because, like in the case of RB Salzburg, they produced guys like Sadio Mane, Erling Haaland, Dominic Soboslai, who play with a high intensity, high pressing. Okay, apart from Haaland, really high intensity, high pressing sort of profile, and which is in modern football really important. So I think that would be something that he would develop going to Salzburg. I think you can take a leaf out of the book of Tolani Serrero, who, when he absolutely bossed the PSL, went to Ajax in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, it's a slower paced league, but it allowed for Serrero's technical and cognitive football intelligence to take over, and he didn't rely as much on his physical stature, to make an impact in Holland. So those are probably leagues that Mofokeng should look at. But the most important thing for me is for him to play. I think this boy honestly can become one of the greatest footballers South Africa has ever produced. I think he can get to that Steven Pienaar, Benny McCarthy level, or even surpass it, if he does go to the right club where he plays and he works on his physical ability whilst playing at a high level, getting maybe the opportunity to play Champions League football or Europa League football regularly, like if he goes to Salzburg. When he comes back to the PS, or not, let me rephrase it, when he gets to the point where he needs to take a step up again, moving to like a top 5 league, I think he'll be ready, and I think he'll become one of the greatest talents South Africa has ever produced when it's all said and done in his career. So yeah, guys, that was all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe. It really helps out, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hi guys, peace.